Cooper CPAs, located in the heart of East Nashville, offer a wide variety of tax services for individuals and businesses. Contact them at 615-257-0646 and visit their website, allcooper.com, for a full list of services.
Welcome to Music Business Daily, where we bring you the hottest music headlines.
Hey guys, and today we have got some fantastic news about Dave Grohl, Black Sabbath back in the recording studio, and Keith Urban announces a new tour. We'll see you soon.
Bandwidth for today's show is brought to you by SoftLayer.com. We love SoftLayer here at Talkapolis. They are the greatest hosting company ever. They make everything easy. Check out their website at SoftLayer.com. Thanks again for sponsoring the show.
Hey guys, welcome back to Music Business Daily. First of all, we have Dave Grohl, who has lashed out at TV talent shows. This is really good. I like this a lot. He's basically saying that everyone who goes onto these talent shows now ends up sounding like a Christine Aguilera type. And it's also incredibly demoralising for these kids who go on there. And he goes on to say in a report to NME magazine that if one of his children were to go out there and be, you know, victimised like some of these kids are, that he would have a few choice words to say about the judges. And reading the article is obviously he, in Dave Grohl true style, had a few choice words that I can't say right now, but it is incredibly funny. And it's so true. I mean, even though it does kickstart a lot of careers that we know of, you know, the kids do get victimised a fair bit.
I can see both sides of it, because I know that coming from like a person who's competed in pageantry, like for Miss North Dakota, I know when you put yourself in a contest like that, you're putting yourself out there to be judged. Like, you're kind of open to anything they're going to say. At the same time, it's true that like they're really into, I've noticed, into like this heavy gospel belting voice that could probably break down some Broadway rafters. But when you listen to like things on the radio, you usually don't hear those voices.
No, that's
true.
So
when those voices are being pushed forward and they're telling everybody else, not that great, man. I'm like, what are you doing? I actually really enjoyed that. So I can see both sides of it. But
I mean, and I'm exactly right, having the Australian Idol background, so I can see this too. But from a musician standpoint, you know, I think that someone like Dave Grohl, who is so entrenched in the nature of, you know, the fundamentals of music, I can see why he would be against something like this. But I'm glad that it's still a topic of conversation, and that someone like Dave Grohl is still so passionate about young people coming up and being
It's true.
involved.
He said something about how like a lot of the judges, not all of them, but some of the judges that are judging on these talent shows actually don't even play an instrument on their album, or don't, you know, they sing, but do they play? I don't know if Nicki Minaj plays a multitude of instruments, or if Britney Spears is really talented that way either.
Yeah, and I've no doubt that obviously all those judges are incredibly talented. Keith Urban, I mean, plays a mean axe, and you know, songwrites and all those sorts of things. So I think everyone has the right to be there, but I think there is that really fine line between, you know, trying to help someone move forward and just demoralising someone for TV.
That's true.
So, which we've both been involved in.
Yeah, I mean, last thing on touching on this is that there have been a lot of artists who went on to do great things, like Garth Brooks, for one, who tons of people told them, you have a really crappy voice, you shouldn't be a singer.
That's exactly, and you look at people like we would miss out on due to it. Kelly Clarkson. I mean, in my opinion, one of the best female vocalists around. Yeah. From American Idol. So it is a great launching pad, but if we can just nurture, I think, that talent, then that's great. Absolutely. Moving on to someone who obviously, you know, would never have anything to do with a talent show, Black Sabbath, back in the recording studio. And they have released a video that we can all check out online. We'll stick the links up for you. But it's really interesting. These guys haven't been in the studio together since 1978. They're making their brand new album, 13. There's some really funny stuff with Ozzy Osbourne. As we all know, we can hardly understand what he says, so there are some subtitles. Viewer discretion advised too, but definitely check it out.
I think it's funny that he's going back into it. I thought that, you know, after their reality show that maybe he was done. Yeah. Can you understand him in the music is what I'm wondering.
Well, the interesting thing is a couple of times I've seen him get on stage and perform as a guest with some other people, and that sort of rickety old drug-affected guy that we see on that reality show, when he actually stands in front of the mic and belts out again, it's like he's transformed back into that young Aussie that we all knew and loved. So
that's cool.
Yeah, they've got some new blood in there. They've got the drummer from Rage Against the Machine. So I think it's going to be a killer album. It's Black Sabbath, so it's not going to be terrible. They're not trying to reinvent themselves, as they say in the video. They're just saying that fast forward 40 years and this is where they are now. So
yeah, you still have the itch no matter what the rest of your life. Another hair band has some news. Alice Cooper has said that If you pay $10,000, you can play golf with him.
You can. It's from a Kickstarter campaign, which we're all familiar with, the Kickstarter program, which is absolutely brilliant. You know, Kickstarter, so many different fantastic projects. And with Kickstarter, what you can do is offer bits and pieces to the supporting or paying public. And one of the things to offer is if you put $10,000 towards this Kickstarter program, you can play golf with Alice Cooper.
They're also selling, it's actually funding, kind of going towards funding a 12-part series called Uncle Alice Presents. And it's a comic and then a graphic novel created by Tom Shepard and features Alice Cooper as the narrator and, quote, demented blood-soaked host.
Yes, and we were just talking before off camera that lucky we're not going to pitch in, because if we played golf with Alice Cooper, it could take all day. He'd probably be incredibly drunk.
I would pay maybe to drive the golf cart alongside just to like watch.
That's true. It would be fun. Can you imagine the conversations you could have with Alice Cooper though? I mean, oddly enough, when you see interviews with Alice Cooper off stage without the makeup, he's very articulate and very well spoken, and he's not biting the heads off chickens and all that sort of stuff. So it would be an interesting game of golf.
It's true. It's true. Well, it ain't final until it's vinyl for Pistol Annies. Miranda Lambert, Ashley Monroe, and Angelina Presley actually got to see their album pressed to vinyl. It's called Annie Up. And we've heard a lot of this lately. I think a lot of artists are going back to vinyl.
I love it.
I love it. I think it's awesome. I think everybody should blow the dust off their record players and
I think it's such
you don't have one.
an experience. It's like the sad state of not being able to go to a bookstore now. I mean, I remember when you could go into a bookstore and there'd be this beautiful smell of books and all that sort of stuff. And now in Australia, I know in some places here in the larger cities, they're combining that feel of coffee and books and music as well now, where you can actually go in and play vinyl records and experience that whole deal. So I think it's like a really human thing to go in there and put your hands on the record and put it on the record player, or open a book and read a book. So
actually, over this last Christmas break, my parents have a huge collection of records, and my dad was taking all of the records and kind of putting them on a CD or into his iPod so he could listen to them in the car. But it was awesome because, you know, I'm 24, and it's not like I see them or like use them a lot. So to have them out and like looking at them and touching them, I was like, I miss this. This is awesome. I'm really glad they're bringing it back.
Absolutely, and so many people are doing it. And I think even like Jack White, who's based here in Nashville, they do limited releases. So it sort of, you know, makes it even more sought after to get your hands on that record. But dead right, if you've got the records at home, dust them off, throw them out on the lounge room floor, sift through them.
Fun thing is they're also actually pressing them in colors too. So they had like gold.
I think it's awesome. And the thing is with that Pistol Annies band, they're so traditional to that country music realm that I think it's fantastic that they've done it. Another massive country music star is Keith Urban, of course, and he has announced a tour called Light the Fuse Tour, and has announced a bunch more dates, and he's coincided that with the American Idol finale. So I guess he's kind of using
that as a springboard to reach some of the viewers who may tune in to Fox to watch him and obviously the contestants on American Idol, but he's added actually 20 more tour dates, which is quite a few. So now there's a total of 45. And actually he'll be on the road probably steady through December 8th now. But he's also working on a new album, hasn't finished it or told anybody the release date yet, but that'll be, I'm sure, something he'll maybe incorporate.
Yeah, and it's a massive tour, like 45 dates. So that is a long time to be away from, obviously, Nicole and the kids. Right. So it's interesting. He's been so busy with the Idol show. And he's one, touching back on what we started on before, I think he's one that has been an asset to that show in the way that he does nurture people and comments on songwriting and comments on, you know, the musicality of the places they're putting together. So I think Keith's been a fantastic addition to that. And, of course, everyone will get out and support him.
Right. If you see him in concert, or if you haven't, you can tell that he is so talented beyond his vocal talent abilities.
Well, I mean, and he did it. He was one of those people in Nashville who did it in the honky tonks in his band, The Ranch, where they just play all night long and massive guitar solos and things like that. And then they sort of nurtured him into be more country pop. But he's definitely, worked from the ground up. So
yeah.
I love the addition of that.
I'm sure his family will go on along some dates with him, but I'm
Yeah.
sad I won't see him and Nicole around Nashville as much, like out at the movies, and I won't be able to
Starbucks.
like, smell their hair behind them in the line or anything.
That's weird. But awesome news for me, because I absolutely love this era of music. I grew up with the Seattle sound. Is Billy Corgan and the boys with Smashing Pumpkins releasing a new album.
That is exciting.
It's going to be really cool. So I don't know a whole bunch about this. They haven't released a bunch of information, but they've definitely tweeted out that they're doing it. And if it's going to go anywhere close to Siamese Dream, which still is one of my favourites, I saw these guys last year, I think it was. They had a bit of a tour and got back together. So keep your eye out for the new album from Smashing Pumpkins.
I'm interested to hear their new sound, or if they have kind of a new sound with their new leader. So that'll be.
Well, I mean, Billy Corgan's voice is so characteristic. I mean, you just go straight away Billy Corgan, and he released a few different albums with other people, but it was so Smashing Pumpkins just because of his guitar playing and his voice. So
hopefully it'll be pretty spot on to their feel already, and
I bet it will be.
I'm sure it'll be flowing with them easily.
Absolutely, love it. And that's about all we've got for today.
You can find us on Facebook and Twitter, or our free downloadable app, where you can also kind of search through our other music.
Yeah, all kinds of shows we got on there. What's Up East
everything.
Nashville, What's Up Nashville. We've got some new shows coming up. It's a really exciting time for us here at Talkapolis in Nashville. You can check out all of us guys as well on Facebook and Twitter. So we'll see you guys tomorrow.
Bye.
Talkapolis, the social media TV network for your city.